Dostupno na Google Playu i na Apple Storeu.
Tanjug aplikacija. Prvi saznajte najtačnije informacije. Besplatno na Google i App Storeu.
Od sada i Tanjug TV na Telebox aplikaciji. Besplatno. Gledajte šta želite, kada želite i gde želite. K1, Kazbuka, TV Doktor i Tanjug TV na Telebox aplikaciji. Dostupno na Google Playu i na Apple Storeu.
Tanjug aplikacija. Prvi saznajte najtačnije informacije. Besplatno na Google i App Storeu.
Od sada i Tanjug TV na Telebox aplikaciji. Besplatno. Gledajte šta želite, kada želite i gde želite. K1, Kazbuka, TV Doktor i Tanjug TV na Telebox aplikaciji. Dostupno na Google Playu i na Apple Storeu.
Tanjug aplikacija. Prvi saznajte najtačnije informacije. Besplatno na Google i App Store-u.
Od sada i Tanjug TV na Telebox aplikaciji. Besplatno. Gledajte šta želite, kada želite i gde želite. K1, Kazbuka, TV Doktor i Tanjug TV na Telebox aplikaciji. Dostupno na Google Playu i na Apple Store-u.
Tanjug aplikacija. Prvi saznajte najtačnije informacije. Besplatno na Google i App Store-u.
Od sada i Tanjug TV na Telebox aplikaciji. Besplatno. Gledajte šta želite, kada želite i gde želite. K1, Kazbuka, TV Doktor i Tanjug TV na Telebox aplikaciji. Dostupno na Google Playu i na Apple Store-u.
Tanjug aplikacija. Prvi saznajte najtačnije informacije. Besplatno na Google i App Store-u.
Od sada i Tanjug TV na Telebox aplikaciji. Besplatno. Gledajte šta želite, kada želite i gde želite. K1, Kazbuka, TV Doktor i Tanjug TV na Telebox aplikaciji. Dostupno na Google Playu i na Apple Storeu.
Tanjug aplikacija. Prvi saznajte najtačnije informacije. Besplatno na Google i App Storeu.
Od sada i Tanjug TV na Telebox aplikaciji. Besplatno. Gledajte šta želite, kada želite i gde želite. K1, Kazbuka, TV Doktor i Tanjug TV na Telebox aplikaciji. Dostupno na Google Playu i na Apple Storeu.
Tanjug aplikacija. Prvi saznajte najtačnije informacije. Besplatno na Google i App Storeu.
Od sada i Tanjug TV na Telebox aplikaciji. Besplatno. Gledajte šta želite, kada želite i gde želite. K1, Kazbuka, TV Doktor i Tanjug TV na Telebox aplikaciji. Dostupno na Google Playu i na Apple Storeu.
Tanjug aplikacija. Prvi saznajte najtačnije informacije. Besplatno na Google i App Store-u.
Od sada i Tanjug TV na Telebox aplikaciji. Besplatno. Gledajte šta želite, kada želite i gde želite. K1, Kazbuka, TV Doktor i Tanjug TV na Telebox aplikaciji. Dostupno na Google Playu i na Apple Store-u.
Tanjug aplikacija. Prvi saznajte najtačnije informacije. Besplatno na Google i App Store-u.
Od sada i Tanjug TV na Telebox aplikaciji. Besplatno. Gledajte šta želite.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. From the media, it is indeed an honor to welcome to Ghana my brother and colleague, His Excellency Marco Durich, who is on a 3-day official visit to Ghana. I also acknowledge the presence of the members of his delegation from Serbia. This visit represents a significant milestone in the evolving relationship between Ghana and Serbia. It reflects a renewed commitment from both sides to deepen cooperation and strengthen the bonds of friendship as we embark on a new chapter in our time-honored and historic partnership. We mark a renewed beginning, one that focuses our collective efforts on fostering a more vibrant and enduring collaboration. During our bilateral discussions this morning, we acknowledge the cordial and long-standing relations that exist between Ghana and Serbia, which dates back to the era of the Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, where the two leaders of Ghana and Serbia at the time, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and President Joseph Broz Tito, played a very prominent role in the formation of the non-aligned movement. The two countries had a common objective of promoting global peace and security through the policy of non-alignment. This early friendship birthed the construction of the Akra International Conference Center, which was conceived and built through Serbian expertise to host the 10th ministerial meeting of the non-aligned movement in 1991. This iconic venue has become a hub for continental summits, cultural gatherings, and business conventions. It also has symbolized what our collaboration is capable of achieving. We further discussed the need to expand the frontiers of our relations and cooperation, both at the bilateral and multilateral levels. At the bilateral level, we noted the potential for increased trade and economic cooperation and urged the private sectors of our two countries to explore possible avenues for cooperation in various sectors of both economies. We acknowledged that trade and investment activities between the two countries were unimpressive. Thus, more could be done to increase sale. In that regard, I noted the potential of the Africa market of over 1.4 billion African people, which affords us to fully take advantage of the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement, which Ghana is very proud to host its secretariat. We also, in our discussion, noted that Serbia has an aging population and will require a labor mobility agreement, taking full advantage of Ghana's very young population with a median age of 20. The Honorable Foreign Minister has indicated this year Serbia plans to grant 100,000 work permits, and Ghana has expressed interest in taking full advantage of that so that we can have thousands of our young people work in Serbia. We note that Serbia has recently signed a similar labor mobility agreement with Egypt, and Ghana is keen to become the second country to sign this mobility agreement with Serbia so that our young people can have the opportunity to work in Serbia, to take advantage of these 100,000 work permits. And this is how we deepen people-to-people engagements, and we create economic opportunities for all our people at all levels. At the multilateral level, we have also noted our strong belief in the UN Charter. We will continue to be non-aligned. We will continue to be countries that promote peace. We will continue to be top UN troop contributing nations so that we will help to bring peace in various theaters of conflict across the world. We have also discovered that we have another commonality. Like Ghana, Serbia has also discovered lithium. They have 11% of the world's lithium deposits, and we have agreed on technical expertise, sharing of knowledge, so that we can work together on how we explore those lithium potentials linked to our investment in artificial intelligence. We acknowledge that Serbia currently chairs the Global AI Initiative, and in line with President Mohammed's 1 Million Coders program, the $1 billion Innovation Hub initiative, and then the $50 million support for fintechs, we are determined to deepen collaboration with Serbia in terms of artificial intelligence so that we can really innovate and transform our societies. Ladies and gentlemen, I proceeded to commend the government of Serbia for supporting Ghana's maritime sector through the ongoing collaboration between the Ghana Maritime Authority and Vlatakom Research and Development Institute of Serbia for the major upgrade and overhaul of Ghana's existing VTMIS. The new infrastructure, when fully deployed, will extend the reach of the over-the-horizon surveillance technology along Ghana's coastline significantly. I further discussed the level of implementation of the Memorandum of Understanding signed between Ghana and Serbia on cooperation in the field of defense. On the security situation in the Sahel, which we discussed extensively, I briefed our guests on the measures being taken by the President of the Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, using a lot of shuttle diplomacy, rapprochement, and seeking to bring our neighbors back to the path of democratic order. We have also discussed how we can have a defense cooperation ratified by Parliament so that we can equip the Ghana Armed Forces to withstand the threat of terrorism that is posed from the Sahel. We also broached the subject of the Serbian government's continuous award of scholarships to Ghanaian students. I did commend the Serbian government for granting 51 scholarships to Ghanaian students, and we have been informed that another 30 will be offered to Ghanaian students this year. That will bring the number to at least 81 scholarships for Ghanaian students. And this is very much within the Serbian government's World in Serbia scholarship initiative. We have also extended an open invitation to Serbian students. We are willing to offer scholarships to Serbian students, particularly those interested in the study of African studies, African sociology, and we will be happy to host our Serbian friends when they decide to take up this scholarship opportunity. On the issue of climate change, Ghana and Serbia acknowledge that climate change, which stands as one of the most formidable challenges of our time, require collective action. We share a deep concern for the environment and recognize the urgency to combat climate change and mitigate its adverse effects. His Excellency Duric and I agree that our institutions of state, academia, and business community must collaborate closely, leveraging our collective expertise and resources to adopt innovative solutions, promote renewable energy, and implement climate-friendly policies. By sharing knowledge, technology, and best practices, we can make significant strides towards a greener and more sustainable future. Distinguished members of the media, during the visit of His Excellency Duric, he would have engagements with the Speaker of Parliament, the Ministers of Food and Agriculture, Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Sports and Recreation, and Defense. And I know our sports journalists will be excited to hear that he will be meeting the Minister of Youth and Sports. Some of our best coaches have come from Serbia, and we all fondly remember Coach Milovan Rajovic, who took us to the finals of the Africa Cup and also qualify us to the World Cup. And we are hoping to deepen those ties. We seem to have a lot of luck anytime we have Serbian coaches, and we need to really explore more sporting opportunities. We also noted that as tennis enthusiasts, our chief director and my dear wife are famous tennis players. I stay away from the court. We celebrated Djokovic, who is one of the icons of the sport, and we are looking forward to have deeper ties in various sporting partnerships moving forward. I would like to conclude by thanking my colleague for choosing Ghana, which is the gateway to Africa, which is where you can have the real Black Star experience. And we are looking forward to have a very impactful 3-day official visit. And we would like to use this opportunity to re-echo the words of President Mahama that Ghana is truly open for business. We want to have a lot more Serbian companies, Serbian investors to visit our country, to trade with us, to invest, and to take full advantage of the hospitality, the warmth, and the opportunities that Ghana has to offer. So, Akwaba, Wezon, as we say in Ghana, and we're looking forward to a memorable and a very successful visit. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Minister, dear brother Samuel, I want to begin by thanking you for making me feel and my delegation feel at home here in Ghana. I'm very excited to be stepping on the steps which were laid many generations before us by Presidents Nkrumah and President Tito, and are being continued through bold vision of President Vučić and President Mahama. as Ghana and Serbia are standing together as nations which stand for the values of the UN Charter, which stand for universal values of peace, international rules-based order, and respect of sovereign equality among nations, peaceful orientation towards economic development. And I was very excited to hear and to learn this morning from my dear colleague Samuel about the bold steps the Ghanaian government is taking to advance the economic growth and development of this country. In fact, I believe that both Serbia and Ghana are countries of the future. I come from a country which has more than doubled the size of its national GDP after engaging in very difficult austerity and economic measures, and which has been able to reduce the unemployment rate from almost 20% to now below 7%, and at the same time reduce its foreign debt from 79% of the GDP to less than 50% of the GDP. And I must say that I was inspired with what I heard about the ideas of having a 24-hour economy, of ideas to push the activities of the government and of various agencies and the economic drivers to a 24-hour mode, because I believe that this can increase the pace of economic growth and development. And I see an opportunity for Serbian and other businesses from our region to connect to Ghanaian businesses and Ghanaian economy. We see Ghana as a key regional ally and partner, deeply rooted in historic friendship, but oriented towards contemporary and future cooperation. That's why we had such good discussions on economic cooperation, and throughout this visit I will see the Minister in charge of Culture, Minister in charge for Sports, Minister in charge for Defense. We will have extensive discussions in Parliament on how better to connect our political classes and to live up to the dream which was laid out practically 6 decades ago, that our countries should stand together as beacons of friendship and cooperation in our region. Serbia is immensely grateful to the leadership and to the people of Ghana for their continuous support for our territorial integrity and sovereignty. For us, this is a very important issue, and I assured my dear brother Samuel that Serbia is working to preserve stability in our region very actively, that it is pursuing an independent foreign and domestic policy with the economy at the center of our policies. And indeed, with an aging population, there is a growing need, a growing requirement for us to exchange and build bridges between our people. So we also discussed people-to-people connectivity, and we will be working towards granting greater mobility of the labor force between our two countries, as it has been described by the Honorable Minister. I'm also very excited to confirm the words of my dear brother that we will be extending the scholarship principle and system that we have in place, which means that from the current number of scholarships, we will introduce an additional 30 scholarships this year. For now, we are even considering to expand this number, and I'm extremely excited about the prospect that Serbian students could come and learn here in Ghana, at the University of Ghana, about your culture, about the opportunities that exist in this region, and also in various other fields, because this is a reputable institution, and I'm sure that our students could profit from spending a part of their studies or a part of their academic careers here in Ghana, just as I'm sure that students from Ghana are profiting from studying at some of our universities. I informed and briefed in very many details my dear colleague about Serbia's balanced foreign policy. Serbia is one of the rare countries in our broader regions that is sticking to the founding principle that we mentioned at the meeting, principle that was also mentioned and instated by President Nkrumah, which means friends to all and enemies to none. This is also our policy, and as I mentioned at the meeting, the founder of our Serbian church 800 years ago, Saint Sava, who was also from the Nemanjić dynasty, one of the founders of this great Serbian medieval dynasty, famously stated that Serbia was the West in the East and the East in the West. And this has been deeply enshrined in our foreign policy DNA. So I would really love Serbia to be one of the key gateways to Europe for Ghana. And I want to assure you, dear friend, and the people of Ghana, that in Serbia you have an unwavering supporter, a country that has fought against colonialism when all other major European powers were engaging in colonial policies, a country that was fighting for independent and equal treatment among all nations when this was not the case anywhere else in Europe. And we are proudly continuing these traditions to this very day, and we are taking it to the future. Serbia is presiding over the Global Partnership for Artificial Intelligence, and we want the people of Ghana and the people of Africa to, together with us, shape the future of this dramatically important technology and to take future in our own hands by governing jointly how policies on this issue will be shaped in the coming period. So there are so many areas in which we will, in these 4 days, deepen our ties. Serbia is catering for its own defense needs, has a very extensive defense industry, and we are producing so many things and working closely with our partners, including Ghana, to bring cutting-edge technologies that prevent maritime threats such as smuggling, contraband, and things like that. We have institutes for biotechnology in the agricultural sphere that can work very closely with the Ghanaian counterparts. And I'm absolutely convinced that this will be an introduction to an ever-increasing number of exchanges between line ministers as well, which is immensely important because it will introduce a new strategic note to this long-standing friendship. And as I said at the beginning, we are already feeling at home here in Akra. We are, in a way, pleasantly surprised that there are so many similarities which we even didn't know we have. But one thing we certainly have in common also is the same warm atmosphere and very warm feelings towards each other, both on a government level and a people-to-people level. And I really want to say that I'm delighted to make Ghana my first country in this part of the world to visit as foreign minister. So thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for engaging in communication with the press. My question has to do with the 100,000 work permits that will be granted to foreign nationals into Serbia. Is there a specific quota that Ghana has, and what are the skills available that we are looking at in terms of work permits?
Well, thank you very much for that question. So the discussions continue, and we will be signing an MOU on that. And when we have done that, you have the details. So the 100,000 quota is what they require this year. And we are seeking to benefit from that this year. And beyond this year, to have a long-standing labor mobility agreement with Serbia. So when we flesh out the MOU, we'll share the details with you.
My focus is on agriculture, and I'm happy that you've been meeting the Minister for Food and Agriculture. We want to find out what areas we want to partner Ghana with when it comes to agriculture and promoting food security and food safety in Ghana.
Thank you for this question. I think it's very, very relevant. In our economy, together with the growing IT and tech sector, agriculture continues to be one of the pillars of economic growth. And to a huge part, thanks to a knowledge basis contained in a number of faculties and institutes that deal with agriculture. We have an amazing institute for biotechnology, which helps implement the most innovative technologies in agricultural production, and we have a practice of having exchange with friendly nations in this area. So it's exchange of knowledge, expertise, both experts from this country visiting Serbia, but also our experts and coming and helping in certain areas. Also, I should mention that as part of this scholarship program, a number of these scholarships will be directed at those agricultural faculties. In addition to this, we have facilities in Serbia such as the Institute for Corn, and Serbia is known to have produced a number of new hybrids when it comes to corn, which have been very reputable and broadly implemented. Also, seed production is something in which we like to boast that we excel. So I'm pretty positive that there could be good cooperation in this area. In addition to all of this, Serbia produces some good quality but affordable machinery for agricultural production. So our companies, especially from the north of Serbia, produce very useful, very durable, very affordable machines for agricultural production. And I'm very much looking forward to comparing notes with our dear hosts here and seeing how we can make this partnership in the agriculture really take its full meaning. And I should also mention that there is a potential also for trade in the agricultural sphere, because we need some of the products which are being produced here. And Serbia has access to a broad array of markets. I mentioned at the meeting, Serbia is a unique country in Europe which has free access to the entire European market, but at the same time has a free trade agreement with China, which no other European country has an active free trade agreement with China, a free trade agreement with Eurasian Economic Bloc, with Turkey and Egypt and the United Arab Emirates. So it's really something that has brought 65% of all of the investors in Southeastern Europe into Serbia. And with this bold vision that I heard this morning by my brother Samuel and what we heard about President Mahama's vision, I think it's very complementary with what we want to achieve.
Talk about the fact that within the Balkan region where Serbia is located, you are leading peace and stability within that region. And Ghana in itself, within the West African sub-region, is seeking to lead a very peaceful sub-region. What are some of the pointers you want to give Ghana to at least succeed as you are succeeding in making sure there's some stability within the region?
This is a very important year in the world. We are marking the 80th anniversary of the UN Charter. The UN Charter, which was enacted so that the horrors of the Second World War, which was fought on the front lines in Europe, Africa, Asia, everywhere, the Americas, and resulted in hundreds of millions of deaths, that this should never repeat. Unfortunately, in our time, we have seen the world starting to drift astray from this vision, and this is why it is increasingly important that we gather around those principles which were enshrined 8 decades ago. My impression from today's discussions is that we both are very, very committed to the vision which was laid decades ago by our predecessors and to which our country stayed loyal, but we are also in this time prepared to raise our voice for peace and to stand up for peace. And I'm not afraid to say in front of anyone that Serbia is for peace in Ukraine. Serbia is for peace in the Middle East. Serbia is for peace in various parts of Africa. Serbia is for peace as a principle and for the respect of the UN Charter. In a time in which small and medium-sized countries are being pressured to take sides, we refuse to accept and to give in to pressure to abandon the principles of international public law. International public law is the only protector and guarantor that our countries will not suffer the same destiny as some of the countries that have been engulfed in the turmoil currently. We believe in the role of the United Nations, even if not everyone in our age does, and we support the reform of the United Nations so that Africa has a greater say at the UN Security Council and in other bodies. So I believe that on multilateral front, we have many, many things that we share. And we are also immensely grateful, again, to the people and the government of Ghana for supporting international law in our region, because our region is also a region which 3 decades ago went through a very difficult civil war, breakup of former Yugoslavia, and so forth. But now, I believe that Southeastern Europe and the Balkans region can turn very quickly into the leading growth area of Europe. I come from a country which has more than doubled the size of its GDP in less than a decade. And even this year, our growth rate will be at least 3.5%. And this is not something that should be taken for granted. It is a result of precisely President Vučić going for a policy of stability, good neighborly cooperation, and creating an open Balkans. That is the vision of President Vučić. And we have, as a result, already created a single labor market with some of the countries in our region and are working to integrate even more.
Excellent. Thank you.
Tanjug aplikacija. Prvi saznajte najtačnije informacije. Besplatno na Google i App Store-u.
Od sada i Tanjug TV na Telebox aplikaciji. Besplatno. Gledajte šta želite, kada želite i gde želite. K1, Kazbuka, TV Doktor i Tanjuk TV na Telebox aplikaciji. Dostupno na Google Playu i na Apple Storeu.
Tanjuk aplikacija. Prvi saznajte najtačnije informacije. Besplatno na Google i App Storeu.
Od sada i Tanjuk TV na Telebox aplikaciji. Besplatno. Gledajte šta želite, kada želite i gde želite. K1, Kazbuka, TV Doktor i Tanjuk TV na Telebox aplikaciji. Dostupno na Google Playu i na Apple Storeu.
Tanjuk aplikacija. Prvi saznajte najtačnije informacije. Besplatno na Google i App Storeu.